Hey everyone. Hey Kevin.
Hey Rick, how are you doing?
Hey, good.
Do we need to? I'm not sure. I just put it. Oh, no, it's not Elvis. Oh, duh.
Hey Krista, how are you doing? You're on mute.
This is connecting with audio. Oh, wait, hold on. You're muted. Okay. Yes, still nothing. Did you try this? Oh, you're on mute. Try again. You okay. Try again. No, I think it's picking. His microphone is picking. If you're muted. Well, yeah, don't hit. No, just try talking.
Marlon and Eva, you guys on, right? Just want to make sure that we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Marlon, we hear you fine.
Okay.
Is Eva on?
Eva is on. She's testing her microphone, but she's having some difficulties with it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give you guys a minute or two, and then we'll get started shortly here.
Okay, thank you.
So, Peter, can you hear us? Yes. And Krista, can you hear us? So sorry, Marlon, if you can, or Eva, if you can unmute Peter as well as Krista, then we'll be able to start shortly here.
Okay, and I'll have sound.
I'm sorry?
Can you hear us on Howard's computer?
I hear Howard.
Okay, perfect.
Good.
Hi,
Thank
Howard.
you.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good.
I'm glad you could join us.
Yep. Thank you. Let me take off the mask.
And if we,
A lot of people aren't brushing their teeth now that they have to wear this.
I know, it's deceiving.
It's
Krista,
terrible.
you're unmuted, so if you can just check your audio, Krista.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hello.
Peter, if we can get Peter unmuted, and we'll be able to start shortly here.
No Joyce.
Testing, testing.
Great, Peter, we hear you fine. Great,
Thank you.
thank you. Marlon, I know we got you. Eva, is your speaker functional now?
Eva is still having some difficulties.
Okay. Should we wait for her or should we get started, Marlon?
Just let Kevin know.
Okay, so Eva's having a little hard time connecting her microphone and headphones, so
Sure.
we'll be running it from the same computer
That's fine.
until we can get it figured out.
Sure, no problem.
So there may be some delay when we switch headphones, but other than that, it should be fine.
No worries. So if staff's ready and all my committee members are ready, we'll get started.
Okay.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the City of San Marino Design Review Committee meeting. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. My name is Kevin Chang, and I'm the chair for this evening's meeting. We'd first like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we could start, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Staff, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes. Oh, committee member Rick Chow,
Here.
committee member Wong,
Present.
committee member Lakon,
Here.
committee member Brody,
Here.
vice chair Batnich.
I believe Vice Chair Banich has an excused absence today.
Okay, and Chair Chang.
Here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So first, I'd like to go over the procedures of our hearing. First of all, pursuant to Executive Orders N-33-20 and N-29-20, in accordance with the Governor's executive orders, given the health risks associated with COVID-19, this public hearing is being conducted via teleconference virtual meeting without a physical location from which members of the public may attend. Members of the public may access the meeting electronically via Zoom.us teleconference module and web stream live at the web ID that's posted on the agenda. The agenda is posted posted 72 hours prior to each meeting at the following locations: at City Hall, Crowell Public Library, as well as the Recreation Department, and at the city's website. So the agenda can be found at those locations 72 hours prior to this hearing. About the procedures, I'll go through that and then we'll start our agenda for the evening. Each committee member has received plans and has reviewed every item on the agenda and has visited each site. The general order of hearing will be as follows. The committee will ask staff any questions they may have. The chair will then ask applicants or the applicant's representative of any comments on their proposal. The hearing will then be open to the public and the chair will ask for comments for, about, or against, or about the project. And in all cases, the members of the public, would you please state your name and address? Given that we are doing this hearing virtually, we like to limit our time. So each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes and staff will acknowledge when that is up so we can continue to keep the meeting moving along. At the conclusion of the public comment portion, the public hearing will be closed. No further comments from the public will be heard. And the chair will then ask for comments from committee members. Committee members will make their comments, and if there's a motion for approval or denial, and there is no motion, the RC has the option of continuing the application to a future meeting. In the event of a denial, it is hoped that the applicant will have heard comments during the public comment period and during deliberations that will be useful in resubmitting an application. It is also important for property owners to understand that once a project is approved by the DRC, the drawings do become legal documents. If any changes are made to the project subsequent to approval without any proper approval of those changes, the property owner is in fact breaking the law. There is a risk of having to change the project back to the originally approved design or paying a fine to the city of San Marino equal to the greater of 5% of the project valuation or $2,500 and then resubmitting the changes back to the DRC for evaluation. It is also important to understand that there is a 15-day appeal period after an action has been taken for the applicant or any interested party to request the Planning Commission to review and act on the case. After all the agenda items are heard, 2 design review committee members will conduct an open forum. It's at this time residents or their representatives may ask committee members about current or future projects related to their property. Committee members may discuss the design but cannot comment on how they may vote on the project. That is the agenda for that is the procedures for this evening. We will now open to public comment. If there's any members of the public who'd like to make comments not related to agenda items, now would be the time. Seeing none, we will not close the public comment portion and move on to our first agenda item of the evening. Staff, please.
Okay, I will be presenting this first item on Eva's behalf as she is still having some trouble with her microphone. This DRC request is a continued item from the May 20 agenda in response to the committee's concerns on adequately conducting the neighbor notification process and to address potential questions from the immediate south neighbor. The property owner submitted certificate of mailings and a letter to the DRC explaining his efforts and reaching out in the neighbors since the May 20th hearing. Staff is in support of the project with the condition that a new entry door shall be consistent in design and width as the existing door. That concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff from committee members? Yes, committee member Wong.
I have 2 questions. The staff report indicated that the owner, Mr. Wu, has contacted owner at 1465 and 1470, indicating that both are in approval of the plan, whereas in the staff material, it is noted still as no contact. Can staff update what is the real status of that? And also whether the door situation is a new door or not, because apparently the information on A61 and A81 are inconsistent.
Give me just a second to let Eva answer that.
Committee member Wong, in response to your question, staff has not updated the map since the first hearing. This is supplemental information that the applicant has provided. So typically we don't go back to update the map. The supplemental information has clearly indicated that these neighbors is now supporting the project.
Thank you. How about the door situation, the entry door?
So the entry door remains unclear on the plans, and that is the reason why staff is proposing the condition that if the owner desires to change the entry door, that there is guarantee that the new door will match the design and width of the existing door.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other questions from committee members for staff?
Can I ask one?
Yes, committee member Lakon.
Could you address again the reason that the garage is not part of the review today?
Sure. Based on the municipal code, any accessory structure that has less than 600 square feet in footprint lot coverage is not subject to the DRC review. And the two-car garage is roughly 440 square feet.
The new garage.
Correct.
And what is the old garage? Doesn't matter.
Old garage to be removed is also about the same size. I believe it ranges from 400 to about 440. It is a standard 2-car garage today.
Can I ask a question about the garage?
The existing garage?
No, the proposed garage. Can I ask a question to you about it?
I can certainly answer zoning standard question. However, this accessory structure is not subject to any design review.
Okay.
Any other further questions from committee members? Seeing none, is the applicant present?
Yeah, I'm here with
Thank you.
James, our architect.
Marlon, if you can unmute Mr. James Coyne, that'd be appreciated.
James, please.
Okay, Mr. Coyne, it looks like you're unmuted.
Okay. Yeah, no, the only thing I have to say is that at the last hearing, we did agree that we would do a new door that would match the existing. So I think we're all in agreement on that one. Other than that, I don't think there were really any comments.
Okay, very good. Are there any comments from committee members for the applicant?
I have a question.
Committee member Lakon.
In the tree report, what?
No, I'm sorry. I believe that was staff making a comment, but go ahead, committee member Lakon.
On the tree report, there is a row of maybe arborvitaes on the right side of the property, on the north side of the property, all along the driveway. Are those part of the? Are those? I didn't see them in the tree report, and I had a question regarding those during construction.
I'm not the arborist, so I mean, what is your question exactly?
Is that? Should I wait for? I'll wait for the applicant to speak.
The applicant is speaking. That's the architect for the project. Or you can ask the homeowner.
I got it.
Yeah, maybe the homeowner, but what is the question? If we can answer it, we will.
I didn't see them on the report, and I was curious as to why they are not on the report. Are they on your property or on the neighbor's property?
Michael might know better. You're saying as you're facing the property, are they to your right, like on the driveway side?
Yes, all the way, most of the extending past the garage.
Wait, I don't understand what you're asking.
I was wondering about the 36 trees you have on the right side of the property, and will they be part of the plan? But they weren't included in the tree report.
I don't think they're impacted by construction. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't even know if they're trees. I think they're hedges. I'm not sure. I'm not an arborist. I don't even know if, I mean, we had arborists look through it, and in the report, it doesn't say they're actually trees. And to my limited knowledge of trees, I'm assuming they're hedges because that's what it looks like. But I'm not a specialist in trees. Yeah.
Okay, I should have asked staff. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions for the applicant from committee members? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll now open the hearing to public comment. If there's any members of the public like to make a comment for or about the project or against the project, now would be the time. I'll first ask staff, was any questions or public comments submitted to staff specifically for this project?
There were none.
There were none, okay. If there's any members of the public who'd like to comment, please raise your hand or make yourself heard. Seeing none.
I have a question. This is
Yes.
Wait, no, it's mute. It's muted.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead. Someone was making a comment.
Yeah, it's me. I was wondering, can you give the address of the house?
Could you please state your name and address?
Sure. Okay, I have 2 houses in San Marino. My residence is 1570 Rose Avenue, and I have a rental property on Blackstone Road. So you
Okay.
guys have Blackstone property tonight? Is that the first one up? I missed.
No, the Blackstone case is our 4th item on the agenda, so
Okay, I'll wait.
that would be the time.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other comments for this project on 1455 Bellwood Road? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment portion and move to committee member discussions. We'll start with committee member Brody.
Yeah, as far as I see it, I think it's pretty straightforward. Just as long as we have the condition proposed that it will match the existing, I could support it.
Thank you very much, committee member. Committee member Wong.
I appreciate the owners take the initiative to reach out to neighbors as discussed in the last DRC meeting and get their approval, which is a very nice neighborhood spirit. And it is a very straightforward project, in my opinion, as well. And given the fact that it is agreeable to have the tree observation report as proposed by the staff to make sure that the two mature trees would be well protected during the construction phase, as well as that the entry door would be consistent with the existing look is two conditions, I can support the project.
Thank you. Committee member Lakon.
I agree with Commissioner Wong's assessment and the staff report, and I can support the project with those conditions he stated.
Thank you. And committee member Chow.
Yes, I also agree with all the points, major points made by my colleagues. I also want to acknowledge the effort, appreciate the effort that the applicants put in since the last meeting, which was to reach out to the neighbors and make sure that the neighbors have seen the plans. So that's all good. My only question and a little bit concern is regarding tree number 5, because I find that tree number 5 is, the roots are so close to the proposed construction. I just don't know how we, of course there's the arborist report, and the arborist seems to noted that it should be fine. But I just want to kind of raise my concern and want to make sure that the city does follow up in the end and make sure that tree number 5 is not going to get, it doesn't become a big problem down the road.
All right, noted. Yeah, I feel like it's a good project. I feel like given the efforts by the residents, Mr. Wu, we appreciate reaching out to your neighbors and getting approvals, or at least trying to inform them of what you propose, and showing us that was a joint effort and a committed effort. So we recognize that and we appreciate that. I'd be able to support the project with the conditions proposed from Member Wong and Lakon. So given that, do we have a motion?
I'll propose to approve design review case number DRC 19-84 with the conditions that A, tree observation report be available at the final zoning stage for inspection, and B, that the front entry door be in the design and appeal consistent to the existing.
Yeah, I'll just note that that's DRC case 19-85, not 84.
Yeah, 19-85, thank you.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Committee member Brody on the second. Roll call, please.
Committee member Chow,
Yes.
committee member Wong,
Yes.
committee member Lakon,
Yes.
committee member Brody,
Yes.
Chair Chang,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to agenda item number 2 for the evening. Design review case number DRC 20-14, 762 Canterbury Road. Staff report, please.
Thank you. Design review case number 20-14 at 765 Canterbury Road was noticed, and staff report was prepared for the applicant's proposal to install a front yard fence, gate, as well as exterior modifications to an existing 2-story residence. I would like to note that the applicant has since requested to remove modifications or withdraw the modifications from the request, including windows as well as the entry door. The only modification that is being proposed as part of this project currently will be the garage door that is being changed. The fence and the driveway gate and pedestrian gate as well as the walls in the front yard along the side property lines will remain. The fence along the front will be of wrought iron and concrete masonry unit base with a smooth stucco finish and pilasters with pilaster caps to match the existing house. The applicant is proposing to remove the existing walls along the side of the property lines and replace them with 5-foot tall CMU walls, also with a smooth stucco finish along the side property lines. Staff finds that the wall and the fence are compatible with the home itself. However, we are unable to find that the proposed fence in the front yard is compatible with the block on which it is located. That concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you very much. Can we have, is there any questions from committee members for staff?
I do.
Yes, okay, committee member Wong.
Can staff again summarize what is the current proposal? What I get is the side walls being changed to block walls, right? And in the front, the driveway gate, is it correct? Could you please help us?
Sure. To summarize again, the existing side walls would be removed and replaced with concrete masonry unit walls with a smooth stucco finish, and the fence and gates, as shown on the plans that were provided to you, remain as part of the proposal. The window changes and the entryway door has been withdrawn from the request. However, the change in the garage doors remains.
Thank you.
Any other questions from committee members for staff?
I have a question. Could you take us, I see the house is under major renovation already. Can you give us a timeline of how it came to DRC now?
I'm sorry, would you mind rephrasing that question?
Well, the house has been obviously under construction already. The back has been taken off, and so there has been some modifications on the front already. Can you tell us what prompted this to come to DRC at this time and not including other changes?
Sure. Initially, well, the work that is currently under construction is work that is not subject to design review committee review, including interior modifications to the home, as well as windows that are not visible from the front. So there have been some windows that have been approved along the side and in the rear to be changed. Any work that is seen in the front is repair of concrete and some minor landscape work in the front.
Can I ask about is it exterior lighting returning, or they've already made changes for the exterior lighting? Is that part of the review?
Let me see. Are you referring to the two or the new lights along the front elevation?
There's 2 holes for sconces, and then the entryway is removed.
Yes, those are for review because it is visible from the street. It is from the front facing elevation.
Okay, thank you.
Committee member Wong.
Yes, I wonder if the staff has a chance to look at the site lately, because when I passed by it recently, I saw some sort of exterior drywall or unfinished structure at the back of the main residence. I wonder if that is a repair or is it a new structure. If the staff cannot explain, maybe the owner can eventually. It is just a totally different look as from the rest of the first part.
I believe the owner can provide information regarding that. That is not within the scope of work of this project, okay, or of this specific review.
Any other questions for staff?
Kevin.
Can you repeat the question?
For the owner?
Where the owner?
Yeah, we'll let us finish the questions to the staff, and then we'll call for the applicant. Yes.
I have a question. Yes, I have a question for the staff regarding the tree in the backyard. Just let me know if this is something we even are allowed to discuss here. briefly. The tree I'm referring to is if you face the property in the backyard on the right-hand side along the neighbor property line. That tree just got basically chopped down almost, all the limbs. So something like that, if we notice, what is the procedure or what type of recourse does the city have?
If I don't have specific information regarding that in front of me right now, but I do know that the applicant has gone through all the proper protocols for addressing removal of any trees and any improper trimming of any trees. They do have, I believe, 2 permits for removal of a variety of trees. I don't have the details in front of me right now. It's possible that the owner can provide more information about that, but they have gone through the protocols required for removal and any improper trimming of trees.
Does that answer your question, Committee Member Chow?
I think my gut feeling is that that tree is not even mentioned in this project. So it's probably something that the owner did themselves.
Yeah, it might be outside the purview of this discussion this evening. So
right. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions from committee members to staff? Seeing none, we'll.
Wait, I have one question.
Committee Member Lycon.
If I have a question regarding the trees in the neighbor's property that might be impacted by this project, is that for, who would I address that question to?
Trees on the neighbor's property?
You know, I think maybe there are oak trees and they're on the property to the west, right next to in between the 2 properties, close to the wall and next to the garage, kind of in front of the garage.
What was your question specifically?
When they want to remove that wall, is that what I'm hearing? The wall that's on that between those 2 properties?
Yes, they would like to remove it and replace it with a new wall. I believe that's causing damage to some gas equipment that's on that side of the property.
And okay, so if it has any, how do we can protect the trees on the neighbor's property as well, correct? We can condition that. I'm concerned about those trees on that side. There is not a tree report for this, right? This property?
There is not, no. As part of this project, there will be no trees. As part of the scope of work of this project, there are no trees being removed in the front yard.
Okay. But they're going to be at risk of being damaged. The oak trees on both sides of the property. So that's what I'm concerned about. But I'll address that later.
Thank you.
Any further questions for staff? Seeing none, is the applicant present? If we can unmute Mr. and Mrs. Lee.
Just a second.
Sure, thank you, Marlon.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sure. Let me address the questions regarding the trees. We've, since we purchased the property, we've hired arborists to do extensive studies and write up extensive reports, arborist reports, which we submitted to Ron Servan before he hired. He approved removal of many trees. And also, of course, with replanting plan, that will be done after the construction is done, because we don't want to plant those, nice expensive trees that we want to protect during construction. So at the end of the construction, we will be replanting all those trees. Later, we also noticed that there are more trees in the back damaging the wall. So we filed another application, and Aldo, the director, actually was the one who approved the tree removal. For both rounds of application, I did everything that was required, sending out notices to neighbors, posting signs, and then I mailed the pictures, emailed the pictures back to the city and that's how I was able to get the permits to get them removed. So all the removals were permitted with the replanting requirements that's specified by the Ron and Aldo. Again, that will be done at the end of the construction. The severe pruning of those willow trees, that was a very unfortunate event. I did hire a licensed tree contractor, which had an active business license to perform tree trimming in the city of San Marino. So I was also very shocked when that happened. We did receive a letter from code enforcement officer. So I did file a petition and for a hearing because we did not instruct them to do so. And again, we verified that they were licensed and is active in the city of San Marino. So we feel like it is not our fault that it happened. It was an unfortunate event, and we hired arborists to write up a restoration plan to bring them back to health. So we are waiting for a hearing. It was scheduled already, but because of COVID-19, it was rescheduled. We're waiting for the code enforcement officer to notify us of the future hearing date.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, regarding the oak trees between our house and our neighbor's house, we love oak trees and they provide shade to our house. However, the root systems are so aggressive that it's pushed the wall and damaged them, and the walls are tipping toward our house and garage. It distorted the gate. We can't even close the gate anymore. The gas main has been pressed upon quite severely, so we would like to, there's active gas line actually along that wall. So we would like to repair the walls. The walls, I mean, if you've been to the site, you would know that they're severely broken. So oak tree on our side, there are 2 oak trees on their side. Obviously have to hire our own arborists to protect our trees, but it is our intention to keep them unharmed.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions for the applicant beyond what has been stated regarding the project from committee members?
Can I ask a question? A question regarding the windows? You stated tonight that you're no longer changing the windows in the front of the property?
Right. So we hired a historic consultant who introduced us to a contractor who is very skilled at restoring old historic homes. And he told us that he could use a material to fill in. There's extensive termite damage. So he tried his best, and we hope to keep all those windows. So he said he can fill them in and sand them and refinish them, and then the screens can actually be custom made and to be fitted on the inside. So we were thrilled to hear that. That's why once we found out about that option, we contacted the city and asked to see if we can keep all those windows. Same with the door, the entry door also we will keep.
That's great. That's great.
And we actually,
Are there any other questions? Yes, Committee Member Chow.
Yes, so does that mean that all the windows, so your color scheme of the house is going to maintain? Because before you proposed bronze color window frames, right? And then you're basically like off-white. So now are you keeping the same color contrast, same colors? That's the first question. The second question is, what about the garage? What's the design of the garage?
So the windows, the frame color was already pre-approved by the planning department. For the rest of the house, they were already ordered, and they were custom windows and doors. The planning department staff found the bronze color with the off-white cream color paint to be consistent with the house style and the neighborhood, so they did not object our request to change the window frame colors. And because it was already pre-approved for the rest of the house, it would be very distracting to have white windows in the front and then bronze in the side and the back. Regarding the garage door design, we didn't really find any particular guideline on that. Maybe you can give us some suggestions. We just wanted to have some light into the garage so it's not so dark and dim. So we just chose to put some glass panels on the top, but we're open to suggestions. And we also have, regarding the front entry, front gate, we do have a, we would like to share something with you, if that's okay, a short presentation, if we can share our screen.
Not yet. Can we go back to the garage first?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I believe that the style of the garage is very intentionally designed to blend into the home. And I think that, would you be open to keeping the garage doors or a garage door that is in the same style, since it's so, it blends so well with the home, and it's a very unusual situation for a house to have a garage built into the home like that. And it's, I believe it's original to the design of the home.
Mm-hmm.
And an integral part of the front.
Well, I've never seen fake window panels on the garage doors. So to me, that was a little surprising. If you think it's very important, it's very crucial for us to keep that, we will. However, if you think it's okay to remove them, the contractor, again, who's really good at restoring historic homes, told me that those fake window panels actually can be removed. And, yeah, then the doors can just be smoothed out and repainted. So that can be an option if you don't think that we can have the glass panels on the top to let some light in.
Okay.
Committee Member Wong.
The owner said that the rest of the windows in the house are in the dark bronze color, which again is proposed for the front. And because the windows around the house, except in the front, have been approved, I want to ask staff, is that the case?
Is your question if the windows in the front will also be dark bronze?
I think the owner said yes, right?
Yeah.
That's correct, yes.
And the owner said that is a proposal because the rest of the windows around the house, the back, the side, they are already been ordered. They have been ordered and they are in dark brown. And
That's correct.
that's based on the approval they received before. What
That's
approval
correct.
is that?
There's a separate permit for a change out of windows along the side and the rear of the home that was approved in the dark bronze color.
Oh, and where, what caused the dark bronze to be considered historically appropriate for this style of home, or architecturally significant, I mean, appropriate for this kind of home?
Staff consulted with each other as well as with the planning director and determined that that was appropriate.
Any other questions for the applicant from committee members? Seeing none. You said you had a presentation regarding some additional information you wanted to share.
Right, about the front gate proposal. Can we share screen?
Marlon, is that going to be okay?
Yes.
Sure, please do.
Okay, thank you. Host, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. Can you allow us to share screen?
Give me just a second. Eva's in control of the meeting, so she would have to enable that. Give me just 1 second.
Okay.
Can you try again? It should be working now.
Same thing, host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Okay, try now.
Okay. Share. Okay, so let me see. So this is the front of our house, which you visited. I would like to share really quickly on the timeline. Hold on, let me see how I can minimize this. Okay, so the house was built in 1937. The previous owners bought it as an investment property in 2011, and it was listed as rental property at times. Can you all see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, so when we bought the house, it was in poor condition with extensive water and termite damage. There were rodents and pests, presence of asbestos and lead. There were cracked and broken hardscapes and walls throughout the front and backyard due to the lack of proper maintenance and aggressive root systems of overgrown and sick trees without proper irrigation and timely trimming. The hedge trees were left to grow out of control, damaging structures. And the previous gardener told us that he was paid to work on only the front yard. Their photos and the details of all these were available on a 75-page home inspection report, environmental reports, and multiple arborist reports. We bought the house in 2019, July of last year, after it was on the market for 8 months. This restoration and renovation plan turned out to be extremely costly due to the original house and the multiple renovations in the past that were not properly designed, permitted, or performed. For example, the boundaries, because they were severely damaged and we were hoping that we could get to repair them sooner, Marlon actually helped me look into see if they were already previously permitted before, which we can then repair without going through DRC. However, they were not permitted. The chimneys, once we opened up the walls, we found out that the chimneys were structurally compromised. They were like 2 fireplaces feeding into one chimney in the front. The previous, I don't know which owner, took one fireplace out and just left it like that with no support. Therefore, we have to redo it. The roof did not have enough overhang on, the roof, so a lot of the walls, window frames, and wood sidings were had water damage and termite damage. A lot of wiring, piping, waterproofing, many items have to be redone to bring them up to code. Also, this project is delayed due to COVID. Now, I would like to briefly go through, our proposal on the gates. I understand that there's nobody else, that our block has it, but we, during the construction, we consulted and confirmed the design guideline with the department staff and made modifications that it needs to have an 18-inch setback, 5 feet maximum height, and then 75% transparency. We were told that it would be an exception for us to have gates. It was a little surprising for us because we see gates everywhere in our neighborhood. However, we were told that it was an exception since neighbors on our quote-unquote block don't have them, which is only the same side of our street. So we drove around District 2, which our house belongs to see what exceptions were made, which houses are the only ones on the block that have gates. So we found that there are 52 houses that actually have front walls and fence at or near the sidewalk. Not all of them conform to city design guidelines. Many of them have circular driveways. And out of the 52, 10 of them were the only houses on the block that have the gates. And I already included all the addresses and photos in the document, and they were sent to Marlon. So quickly, I pinned all those houses, the addresses on the map on District 2. On the left-hand side, there are the 52 houses, and on the right-hand side, there are the 2 that there are the 10 that are the only houses on the block that were the exceptions. So looking at our house, which is this house here, there are 7 houses on our block. Our house 765 Canterbury is the only one with circular driveway and a garage in the front with no gates. All the other houses have vehicle gates, except us. There are houses across the street right here. They have vehicle and side gates. There are 9 houses on the back of us on Chester, and 3 of them have circular driveways, and 2 of them have front fence and gates at the sidewalk. So this is how our driveway looks. It's very, it provides direct access to the garage with no fence and gate in the front. So this is what we proposed to conform to the city guideline, to have transparency and the appropriate setback and the height. The hedge trees were placed here for illustration purposes. We can remove them if the city prefers more transparency. This is the location of design, the location of the gate. Again, we made multiple modifications to make sure that this is done according to city guideline. And just I would like to show, our immediate neighborhood on our street to demonstrate that there are multiple block walls and opaque gates, tall hedge trees, metal gates, and over here, more tall hedge trees. This one here, around the corner, same, and then more metal gates. We just found out actually that we actually have a well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's a house. So these walls are tall. Like I can't see what's inside. Same thing here. Right across from us, there's tall block wall with a gate. Same house around the corner. Same thing. Wall with metal gates. More solid walls with tall trees. Same thing here. You can't see the as well. Another house with tall hedge trees and gates. At the sidewalk, same thing, front face and front gates, and more. All these houses are viewed from just walking around our block without having to cross the street at all. These are in the very immediate neighborhood. Therefore, I feel like what we're proposing here is not out of line with what our neighbors desire to have in their house. We have received 7 support letters from the remaining neighbors besides the 2 objection letters that we received. I went out of my way to make sure that all 9 of them have received the notification from us with our very specific plans. Especially one of them, I knocked on the door 2 times, and according to the city guideline, if we attended 2 times and there's no response, we cannot reach them. I could just mark them as no response. However, I went out of my way, found them through their business website, contacted them, emailed them our detailed plans, and also made it very clear that if there is any questions, please ask us. We have all the information on all the parts of the project, all the permits, everything, photos, everything we can provide to them. However, they chose to raise their questions and allegations in a public forum. Anyway, so we just wanted to let everyone know that we will take great care of the house. We're here to stay. We'll actively contribute to this neighborhood. And again, the boundary walls between our house and our neighbors, they're severely broken, and they're both tipping towards our house, pushing on the gates, distorting them. We cannot. And one of them is pushing on the gas main. And side pedestrian gate, again, can't be closed, and both are serious safety concerns. But they were unpermitted, unpermitted, and can't be repaired without the approval of our proposal. Therefore, we look forward to receiving your support, and we thank you very much for your time and consideration.
All right, thank you very much. There's no further questions for the applicant from committee members. Seeing none, we'll move to the public comment portion of the hearing. Marlon, if you can close up the share screen, or Mr. Lee, if you can close your share screen.
I believe Vivian has to close. Okay, there we go.
All right. Is there any members of the public who would like to speak for, against, or about this project?
We did receive one letter or one email. I can go ahead and read it.
Sure, if that can be read to the record.
Sure. The name of the parties are May Lamb and Cindy Wenslow. They would like the DRC to know, we are owners at 753 Canterbury Road.
Excuse me, did that,
I can't hear.
I'm sorry, was that letter circulated? Because I don't think we need to have it read to us if it was circulated to everybody.
This email was forwarded to all the committee members.
Okay.
I'm reading it for the public record.
I don't have to have it read to me.
Marlon, if we can first mute, so that there's no echo to the rest of the public, so that there's a lot of feedback. Thank you very much. And then to address your question, Brody, I think it's important to read it into the record for the public opportunity. And I think the applicant, the individual who submitted, is not here to present, so the staff is effectively.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, Marlon, if you can continue to read that into it.
Sure. The letter reads as follows. We are the owners at 753 Canterbury Road, right next door to the north of the subject property. We object to installing a wrought iron gate at the front of the house because it does not conform to the rest of the neighborhood. There is not a single house on Canterbury Road that has installed such a fence and gate. We want to preserve the welcoming and open feeling of this lovely street, which is why we chose to live in San Marino. Installing such a fence would distract from the open flow of the street and make the house stand out in a negative way. In addition, we object to replacing the second floor wood sidings and stucco material, and also object to changing the white window frames to dark bronze. Both of these replacements would completely alter the original appearance of the house. We want to help preserve the charm of this beautiful home, and we hope that the homeowners who stated that they bought the home for its charm will agree to keep it the way it is. I would just like to note that some of the items that were mentioned in this letter have since been removed from the applicant's request.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any members of the public that would like to make further comments regarding this project? Mr. Yes.
Yeah,
Name and address.
Sure. There's actually a lot of feedback in the audio, so I'm hearing echoes. Is there any way to remedy that?
It's Peter, if you can mute your, I think it's coming in from the heaters.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. We'll try to push through. I still do hear it, but thank you. My name is Ching Chow, and I am a resident of San Marino. My address is 805 Winthrop Road.
Marlon, thank you. You've muted Committee Member Wong. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you again.
There we go.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chairman Chang and the members of the DRC. My name is Ching Chow, and I am a resident of San Marino, 805 Winthrop Road, San Marino, California. I was a planning commissioner for the city of Arcadia for two 4-year terms, so I'm intimately familiar with the process here, and I want to thank you for your dedication. To that end, I will keep my comments as short and pinpointed as possible. I am speaking in favor of the applicant here, specifically related to the gate. As you saw in the applicant's presentation there are 52 homes in the area that actually provide the exact same type of fence and gates that the applicant is seeking to install here. And, you know, if you look specifically at the staff report, it was indicated that the staff is in favor of the gate with regard to 2 of the 3 findings. To that end, the staff does recommend that, or it does find that the proposed fence, gate, pilaster, yard wall, and retaining wall is architecturally compatible with the existing residence. And they've indicated that in said staff report. The other finding that staff has made is that the proposed fence, gate, pilaster, yard wall, or retaining wall preserves sight lines and is otherwise located in a manner not to create a hazard to pedestrian or vehicular traffic. That too is a finding in the staff report. So now we turn to the only thing that the staff did not find for, which is prong 2 of the municipal code that says that this gate is not really compatible with the block. And that's the only portion which the staff cannot find to adopt. If it were not for the municipal code specifically to the word block, and block meaning defined from one intersection to the next intersection, that is only the 7 homes, including the subject property on that side of the house, it would otherwise be compatible with the neighborhood. And so that's a key distinction that I think the committee members need to focus on here, in that what the applicant is looking for is harmonious and compatibility with the rest of the neighborhood. And as they presented, just now, there are 52 properties in District 2, specifically in District 2, not all of San Marino, but specifically in District 52, that have this exact same gate with regard to compatibility. The applicant further testified just now that she walked around the block, and the majority of the homes around the block or in the neighborhood also are compatible with the proposed elevations and designs that have been submitted before this esteemed committee. And so really, if we are looking at our roles as a design review committee to create a harmonious, uniform, and compatible neighborhood and observe the neighborhood as a whole, not just on one side of the street, on one little area, and just talking about 7 homes, then the design as proposed is in fact harmonious and compatible, which it flies in the face of the definition in the municipal code of the word block as defined, but that municipal code was implemented in 1996 and is not a one-size-fits-all with regard to how the committee should look at a harmonious and compatible design when it comes to all of San Marino and all of District 2. Okay, so I wanted to point that out, that the strict application of the word block as opposed to the neighborhood is a huge distinction and has a huge outcome with regard to how this committee is to rule. Now the applicants, I have to say I've known the applicants.
I just need to let you know your 3 minutes is up, so if you can close with your comments, that'd be appreciated.
Okay, thank you very much. So in final thought is that the applicant is compatible with the neighborhood, and the 2 objections from the against this item, really, if you look at it, they are objecting to compatibility with the neighborhood, not the block, the neighborhood. And so we just want to put forth that we are in compatibility with the other 52 homes and the 10 homes on the block itself with the gate. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Is there any other members of the public who'd like to speak for or against about this project?
Yeah, my screen says Sarah Duvall. She's a student at Carver, so I apologize. This is Charlie Duvall at 800 Chester. I'm within the legal defined subject property for the neighborhood notification that was sent out. I wholeheartedly welcome the lease and have no objection to any of the subject construction, and I live directly behind them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from?
Yeah, this is Sharon Chen. We live behind them, 786 Chester Avenue. On summary, we totally support them. We have no objection for their.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public who'd like to speak for or against this project?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yep, this is Bill Winslow, 745 Canterbury Road. And we object to the gate that's in front, the fence. And as you look at many of the pictures that were presented in 52 homes, I contend the factual basis of that as many of the pictures were side yard gates. So whether it has merit or not, the way that it's been presented is not consistent with front yard gates. And it is within our block, it's very incompatible. We welcome the lease. It's a wonderful open neighborhood. So everything else and what's been done, we stand behind, but certainly not the gate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other
I have,
members?
I have something to say. Because nowadays, this is 786 Chester Avenue, Sharon Chan.
Yes.
Because nowadays, it's really, we need to have a gate. Okay, like my house be robbed because we don't have the front gate. If we have the front gate, the robbery cannot come to our house easily. We will report and we will be robbed by the robber to have a gate.
Understood. Thank you for the comment. Any other comments from public?
Yes. This is Katie Lowe of 753 Canterbury Road. We're the neighbors directly to the north of this project.
Okay.
And we also object as if we're talking about the compatibility of the house, we should not be looking at the 52 houses which are throughout District 2, but when we're looking at if a house is compatible, we should be focused on the house blending into the particular street that it's on. And as the neighbors that are right next to this house, we can confirm that it's definitely not compatible with the street. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other members of the public who'd like to speak for or against about this project? Hearing none, we'll close public comment portion and move on to committee member discussions. We appreciate the comments made from the public. Let's start with committee member Lakon.
Well, I had a lot of concerns regarding the color of the window based on what I would consider an architecturally significant home. It's a beautiful house, and I understand it's been left for the last few years, you said, with renters, and that tends to take its toll, but it looks from what I had seen online that the house was had been renovated or had been maintained. It looked like it was maintained very well, in fact. But what really concerns me is that it's the architect of this house is a very notable and renowned architect in the area named Palmer Sabin, and he worked with Reginald Johnson, and he opened his own studio architecture firm in Pasadena in 1928, and he built it right next to Walt Snapp's offices. He was definitely part of that culture, of that era of Southern California that built really beautiful architecture. And maybe you don't know his name because someone didn't make a book about him, but he is a very important architect. And it's obvious from the quality of that home. He built homes in many areas, and he's listed on many cities' architectural historical assessment reports. He designed a home in Santa Monica on the street with other notable architects from this area, and that's in a historic preservation zone. But he has several of these houses, but what's really important is that he lived in San Marino and built his house in 1930 on Shenandoah at 1130 Shenandoah. And he lived here until 1956 till he died. And he built a few other houses in San Marino and this one. So I think that, I think it's hard to see it change that's not architecturally appropriate. It's a French colonial eclectic, and it was designed nicely from the front, and I appreciate so much that you're going to be keeping the wood that resembles a real wood window. And this house needs to have, and it deserves to have, the appropriate materials to replace it. It's unfortunate that there is being switched to brown or bronze, which is, I don't find it to be appropriate. It's nice that it's staying. So I don't have to say I support that since you are not changing it, but I would only support the door staying, made out of the wood material and not the proposed steel, I believe, was in the report. Regarding the garage doors, I can't support the changing to a steel door. And the architectural design guidelines, if I can find them here, we want the treatment to, I want to state it correctly, because the house was built with these garage doors in the front. They, I believe, are intentionally designed to look like the house, and I think they need to be treated with the materials and the design. Whether or not you open up those windows or not, because you need light in your garage is a different story. But the steel door with the windows on top, it will look like a garage, and the point of this house design is that it doesn't look like a garage. So I think it would enhance the house to keep the garage design the way it is. I'm sorry, I have so much. Let me get to the exterior lights. I was a little concerned when I saw the hanging light in the center removed, and I'm hoping that it's returning, that it's a key architectural design feature, I believe, and I don't find those sconces on the side in that modern style to be appropriate for the type of house or compatible in that neighborhood. I don't find the color scheme compatible in the neighborhood and with the style of the home. And I know staff has approved it, but I don't know how the staff can approve that. And then finally, I'll get to the gate and the wall. The gate style doesn't go with this type of house. If it was to be a gate, it would be something that had to be more in line with this French colonial style. That would be a little more appropriate. I understand people wanting gates, and they add some sense of security, people feel. But it's really important that in a neighborhood like this that doesn't have gates and walls, that if you're even attempting to, that it really working on an architectural style that really adds to the beauty of the house and not something that just detracts from it. And I think this style would detract from the beauty of the house. There aren't any in the legal neighborhood like this. And so that's another reason I have trouble supporting this. Especially with the gate in the front with the mailbox and the number and the 3 locked up things. It's really like you're just saying, stay out, everybody. It's, that area of the street is very open, and our design guidelines really encourage that open space, and we don't want that type of closed off feel. And if it's not in the area already, I think it's not recommended in the guidelines to add gates and walls. I also find them very close to the street. I know it's encouraged to have an optimally at 10 feet back if you were to do one. My other concern is the trash enclosure. There is a really large trash enclosure that's part of, I guess it's kind of made out of the same material as that wall between that property on the north. And it holds a really large dumpster. And it's a big house and has a lot of green, it's a lot of yard. And the dumpster has to go somewhere that's not seen from the street. And it has to go somewhere, practically speaking, that it makes sense that you'll use the dumpster. You don't want it on one side of your house when all your garbage is coming on the other side. So I don't see any replacement for that enclosure that you're removing. And that is an issue because you can't have garbage in the front of your house, correct? Showing. So I don't see anything there. So in that sense, the plan is a little incomplete. Anything else? So I think there needs to be, I see there still needs to be some changes done to this plan before I'm ready to approve it.
Very much. Committee Member Brody, I'd like to hear your opinion.
Sorry.
No, we
Yeah, I'm.
It's a really lovely house.
I'd like to cut to the chase on this, so to speak. I'd like to adopt a lot of the comments made by Committee Member Lakon and just add this, that there is amongst many a movement to fence in or fortress in your home. I think it's inappropriate. It's against our community guidelines. It was astutely pointed out by one of the comments that a lot of the gates shown us were side yard gates, not front yard gates. On so many levels, this fails. I couldn't support it. It's not worth continuing. I would move to deny this particular project.
Okay. Committee Member Chow.
Well, same thing here. We already take a lot of time. Not that it's not worth taking a lot of time. Appreciate the owners and all the neighbors' participation. But yes, on many levels, I also cannot support this project. Just one point I'd like to address is that as a committee, at least for me as a member of the DRC, when we look at a project, we're not talking about 52 other homes in the whole district, okay? One thing really important is that it has to be compatible with your immediate neighborhood, be that be a block or across the street. So this particular project with the gate installed, I think that's a big concern for me. You would really lose the stylistic, the curb appeal of the whole block. You can't compare your gate with some side driveway gate, side doors, side gates, and a lot of you look at your immediate homes around you. The front yards are like gardens. They're organic, very inviting, very soft. And if I see that if you install your gate, your style, I just don't think it's a good fit. So I won't take much more time. So at its current stage, I cannot approve the project.
All right, thank you. If we can unmute Committee Member Wong. Marlon or Eva?
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it, Chairman. I echo my committee members on many of the points. I also want to stress that for me, as a resident of San Marino and a committee member, the immediate neighborhood is of prime importance. 52 houses. Thank you for the owner for doing the statistics and making the case clear. We understand your position, and then thank you for the community to share the thoughts as well. But when I walk down and up the street, it is really obvious that if one house has a metal gate, it will stand out so much from the calm and tranquil atmosphere of this beautiful Canterbury Road. So I cannot support the metal gate to be put in, which is so close to the pedestrians to harden the entire atmosphere. Some photos shown saying there's block walls in the front as well. Mind you, those block walls will really set back much from the walkway to dissipate the entire kind of guarding of the property. But in any event, at the current stage, I cannot find myself supportive of the proposal.
Thank you very much. I want to just recognize the applicant. I mean, we understand that you've made great efforts to address, the architectural concerns and reaching out to historical, contractors that can do restoration work and trying to maintain the balance of the home. We do recognize that, and we do
Appreciate it.
Specific to the gate, Committee Member Wong hit it on its head that, in this particular portion of Canterbury, It is extremely park-like. It's open. It has a very unique feel. And the preservation of that element is what this committee is tasked with. Now, we recognize the efforts to identify the 52 other homes in the district and identifying those homes that have gates as well. And the argument may very well stand that if we allowed your home to have a gate, then the next neighbors to your south, north, or to the west and east may want gates as well. And then the argument there starts to kind of disintegrate, and we have to take into consideration all those other elements. However, specific to the 7 homes along your side of the street, there is this unique element of openness and park-like serenity that we must maintain. It's what we, as a committee, are tasked with doing. So I could not support that element, that portion of your proposal. I think the rest of the work I would be supportive of. I understand, comments made by committee member Lakon about the specific architectural elements of the garage and how that is deliberately masked to not look like a garage, given your unique architecture, and that the setback that you do have is a little more shallow than other homes on the street. That is also an element that we have to take in consideration. It's not just what your home, it's not just the compatibility of your home with the neighborhood, but your home's compatibility with itself. And that's part of the analysis we have to make. So at this time, I would say that I could support the fixing of the retaining walls on the north and south boundaries. However, specific to the gates at the front, I could not support. And I would ask that elements of a design for a garage with some architectural sidelights or glazing would be appropriate. However, it'd have to be designed to fit the home and mask the appearance of a garage, not what's proposed in the aluminum detail. With that, do we have a motion?
Yes, I'll move to deny DRC 20-14.
Committee member Brody with the denial. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Committee member Lake.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Committee member Chow?
Yes.
Committee member Wong?
Yes.
Committee member Lakon?
Yes.
Committee member Brody?
Yes.
Chair Chang?
Yes.
Motion fails.
All right. I'm sorry, motion carries.
Oh, excuse me, motion carries.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
We'll move on to our next agenda item, design review case number DRC 19-94 at 1722 Hilliard Drive. Staff report, please. And also, if staff could mute.
Echo.
Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, who are we meeting?
No, committee member Wong's muted now.
Perfect.
Everyone
Okay.
came through his speaker.
Okay. Design review case number DRC 19-94 is for a project at 1722 Hilliard Drive. The applicant is proposing to construct a single-story addition and make exterior modifications to an existing single-story home. The proposed 153-square-foot addition will be located along the west elevation and will expand the entryway and dining area into the existing courtyard. The construction project also includes 2 minor additions in the rear. However, they do not meet the threshold for design review because it does not extend the length of any side of the primary residential structure by the greater of 25% or 10 feet. Staff finds the addition to be compatible and can support the project. That concludes the presentation.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff from committee members? Seeing none.
I have a question. Hold on. It was about the windows. Are all the windows being replaced or just the new portion?
Just the new portion will be replaced. However, the existing windows will be painted to match.
Okay.
Can that answer your question, committee member?
I think, except for the French doors are changing material.
I'm sorry, you cut out. I didn't quite get that.
The French door is changing its material, or it's going to be a replacement door in the front, I think. I'm asking you, Marlon.
Yeah, I'm looking on the floor plan. Are you
Okay.
referring to door number 11 on the schedule?
I have to be honest, there's so many pages, I can't, I wrote the notes down because I couldn't get to all of them on my screen. So I was just confused by the window and the door schedule. I thought they were saying they're all changing and then they weren't changing, and then maybe a French door was gonna change in the front, but it would not be wood, it would be aluminum clad. Is that, am I wrong?
That is correct. There will be an aluminum clad door. However, if I'm reading the plan correctly, which I believe I am, that's in the rear.
On the rear.
Yes. At the master bedroom in the rear.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, if I believe Committee Member Wong would like to make a comment, if we could unmute Committee Member Wong.
Thank you very much. I noticed that there is a for sale sign in front of the property, and the property apparently was purchased not too long ago. I just want to see if the staff know anything about that. Is the property supposed to be sold soon? And if so, then how would one know that the new owner wants this design?
I believe that might be a question more appropriate for the owner.
So Committee Member Wong will reserve your question for the applicant. Are there any questions for staff? Seeing none, we'll move to committee member discussions. Public comment. Any members of the public like to speak? Sorry, let's have the applicant. Is the applicant present? Yes. Can you please state your name and address? Is that Mr. Tang? Can you speak so we can hear you?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, this is Jimmy, by the way. So when we first purchased the property, everything was fine until COVID-19 hit, and we didn't know what is going to happen with the economy and with the whole dynamic of the situation. So we asked our realtor to temporarily put the property up for sale just to see what the market is like, but we have no intention of actually really selling the property.
Okay.
So you just put it on the market with no intention to sell it?
Well, not no intention, but more so at the price that we would like to sell. I don't think it's going to be able to complete a sale anyway. So I think at this point we're going to complete the remodeling.
Okay.
All right. Is there any other question? We understand the intent now. Is there any other questions for the applicant from committee members? Seeing that answers your question, I presume, Committee Member Wong? Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to make a comment, the homeowner, the applicant? If not, we'll move to public comment.
I'd like to speak. I'm Mitchell Sawasi. I'm the architect for
Okay.
the intent.
Your name and address, please.
Here, Mitchell Sawasi, 1510 Oxley Street, South Pasadena.
Thank you.
The intent of this project was to not change the character of the existing house. If you notice, that front addition is underneath an existing roof, underneath an existing porch. We're not actually projecting any further into the courtyard. We are maintaining the courtyard effect because it is a charming little place. And most of the work, if you look at the plans, is on the interior remodel. We're taking a dated house and updating the flow on the interior for a young family. And I think we've tried really to maintain the existing character of the house. And I believe that when the project is said and done, no one will even notice that a project was completed.
All right. Thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant or the architect from committee members? Yes, Committee Member Wong.
Just 1 second, you need to be unmuted.
Go ahead.
Is there any rendering to see how the new entry door and that vertical facade would look?
It's, we have an elevation in the drawings, and it would be on your sheet, 6.1.
I do see that.
Yeah, we show the
You're
front
referring to the package. I do have it.
Yes, and you can see it from the street behind the existing courtyard wall which we are maintaining. And then the one immediately to the right of it it's actually in the courtyard without the wall.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions for the applicant?
So, for the architect? For the
Yes.
architect?
For the applicant or the architect, yes.
Okay. Are you actually changing the door, the front door? Was it a replacement door?
It is a replacement door. The door currently faces north. The door will now face west, and it'll be a oak door that's in the character with the style of the house.
Wood?
Yes.
You say wood door?
It was oak.
It was an oak door.
Oak, okay. I'm hearing echoes and
Sure.
delays.
Any other questions, Committee Member Lakon?
Yeah, I do have another question, actually.
Go for it.
So there's going to be a mix of some aluminum clad windows with the original wood windows?
No, I believe the latest drawings indicate that all the new windows will be wood. There'll be a TM Cobb solid wood windows that are in character with the existing windows, which are all wood. And they'll all be painted the new color, which will be the dark browns.
Okay. That sounds good.
Any other questions? No? Okay.
No, not for me.
Any other questions from committee members? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll now move to the public comment. Is there any members of the public who'd like to speak about this project, or if staff has received any comments to read out?
Staff has not received any comments.
Okay. Any members of the public? Seeing none, we will close the public comment portion and move to committee member discussions. Committee member Brody.
Yeah, I think this is fairly straightforward. I agree with the architect's assessment that when this is done, it will look like it was originally there. I'd move to approve DRC case number 19-94.
Thank you. Committee member Wong.
I'm glad to hear that the homeowner can stay. Welcome to the community. And I hope you put your effort to see through the renovation. There's a point I noticed, which is probably not in our preview, but I noticed that now the den is going to be added as proposed, that the beam ceiling of the living room probably would have to be partitioned. It is your own taste, and that has a lot of characteristics for that kind of building, but it's interior. And there's not for our preview, but I just want to raise it for your consideration as to how best to maximize the beauty of the house and to your enjoyment. But otherwise, I think is well conceived under the roof pitch, and I can see myself approving it.
Thank you. Committee member Chow.
I also think this proposal, the proposed structure is compatible with the neighborhood, with the existing home. So I think it's a nice addition. So I can also support it.
Thank you. And Committee member Lakon.
I agree. I think this is a nice addition, improvement. I can support it. I don't know if we need to make a condition that they're going to be wood windows and doors as stated by the architect today. But if that's something that we need to do, then I'd like to make that condition. But I think that I could support this, and I think it's great if you'll stay in the community and go through with your renovation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a very well integrated project. I appreciate the efforts of the homeowner and the architect to come up with a design that accentuates the home and effectively makes the addition unnoticeable while maintaining the character of the home and compatibility with it. I would be able to support this as presented. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll move I'll move to approve DRC 19-94 and adopt the condition that was stated by committee member Lakon that there be wood windows and doors. That would be my motion.
Committee member Brody with the motion. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Committee member Chow with the second. Roll call, please.
Committee member Chow.
Yes.
Committee member Wong.
Yes.
Committee member Lakon.
Yes.
Committee member Brody.
Yes.
Chair Chang.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Committee member Wong, are you dialed in as well as on your laptop? No. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to figure out why you're only giving the feedback.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll just have to mute you as we proceed. We'll now move on to agenda item number 4, design review case number DRC 19-84, 1335 Blackstone Road. Staff report, please.
Thank you. Design review case number DRC 19-84 for at 1335 Blackstone Road is a proposal to construct a single-story addition, a new front porch, and to make exterior modifications to existing single-story home. The construction project also includes an interior remodel of the home and a new lattice patio cover in the rear yard. Staff finds the addition to be compatible as well as the exterior modifications and can support the project. That concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff from committee members? Seeing none. Yes, committee member Wong, let's get you unmuted and then.
Just a second.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw the addition at the back seems to raise the roof height or the absolute building height of the structure. Can staff confirm that? And if so, how much addition is it going vertical up? Thank you.
The height is being raised slightly. I'm looking at the plans now and I do not see an exact height.
It's not marked.
It's not marked.
No, I believe the architect might be able to clarify, but I do not.
That's fine.
Actually, the proposed height is a total of 15 feet 9 inches. I don't know what the existing is, but if you take a look on page sheet A5, that the height is shown there.
I think we're trying to find the difference.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions for staff? Seeing none, is the applicant present? And if we can mute Committee Member Wong. Thank you.
Yes, this is the applicant.
Yes, if you could please state your name and address.
Yes, this is Kenneth Ye. I am the resident at 1335 Blackstone Road.
If you could just briefly describe, and then we can ask any questions we have.
Sure. My wife and I got married in 2011, and we moved to San Marino. We've been in here ever since. Now that we have 3 children that are little and going to Carver, or 2 of them are going to Carver, one of them is too little. We are, getting too big of a family to live in the house. So we're proposing this modification so that we can, live in a bigger house to suit the needs of our family. But yeah, that's the reason for our modification.
Great. Okay. Are there any questions for the applicant from committee members? I think there was a question to the homeowner regarding the existing height to what's proposed now. What is the actual net increase?
My architect Tom is on the.
Okay, if we can have your architect.
I think it's the iPad Pro.
The iPad Pro. So Marlon, if we can unmute, there we go. Is Mr. Tom?
Yes. Hi. I'm sorry. I have a little difficulty in my microphone. The existing height is 13 feet 3 inches.
Okay.
And we're proposing 15 feet 9. So basically raising it 2 feet and 6 inches.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the committee for the applicant or the architect? Committee Member Lakon and then Committee Member Wong. Go ahead.
Are you changing the front windows or were those staying the same?
We're changing all the windows to be consistent. They're the pre-approved aluminum clad windows, and they're all going to be consistent.
Okay. Are they the gel one?
Were you trying to verify the manufacturer, Krista, or you
Well,
just?
are they Gelwin?
Yes.
Okay.
And then committee member Wong, your question. Marlon, if we can unmute.
Right. Thank you. Question for the owner or the architect is the increasing of the new roof from the front by about 2 feet. Is it to compensate a change in terrain of the landscape, or is it just for a higher space?
Well, that's how the roof will be designed, based on the width of the house. We have no intention of increasing the height if it's not necessary, but because of the width of the for simple roof design, this is going to be the way to go.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant from committee members? Seeing none, we'll move to public comment. Is there any members of the public who would like to comment for, against, or about this project?
I have a question. This is Pamela Bouzas. I have a rental property on the street, 1340 Blackstone, and I live in San Marino as well on Rose Avenue. And I was wondering if it would be possible to see a rendering of what this is going to look like. I don't live in the home on Blackstone, so I don't know if he came across the street to show a picture. I just want to see how much the house is going to change. Is that possible?
Marlon, do you have a rendering on your laptop you can screen share to show the public?
I do. Let me pull one up.
Great, appreciate it.
That's great. Thank you.
Just a second here. It is a black and white rendering, not full color, but I can surely show what the proposed elevation looks like. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the proposed elevations.
Okay. Okay. It looks pretty good.
Looks
Thank
nice.
you.
Looks good.
Thank you. I was concerned, but it looks like it'll fit nicely in the neighborhood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the neighbor. Is there any other neighbors or members of the public who'd like to make comment? Hearing none, we will close public comment and move on to committee member discussions. Committee member Chow.
I think this is a pretty straightforward project. I don't really have any objections at this point.
All right, thank you very much. Committee member Lakon.
I can support the addition. Some of the front modifications I don't find to be compatible with the neighborhood. I don't think they look necessarily like they're not bad choices. I just don't think that they are consistent and compatible in the neighborhood. Specifically, the entryway, that new I want to call it a portico with the columns. I find the columns to be a little too thick for to support that roof, and I think they need to be smaller, more in line with the neighborhood and the other homes that are built of kind of the same era. Maybe even if the roof extended over like the rest of the houses and was part the cover that was part of the roof line and not a separate roof. My one hesitation is I've with all the different changes, you'll be changing the roof to like a more of a synthetic material to resemble wood shake, and they'll be adding windows, which they're on the pre-approved list and they're okay, but you're going to be adding an element that doesn't look necessarily natural anymore, and then adding the facade, the brick at the bottom will also kind of add to that not natural look, and I think it's just going to look very a little bit out of place. I think it's going to be a nice house. I think it's going to look a little bit out of place, and I would kind of remove something. I would remove the brick if that's possible. I think it's nice, but I don't think that brick all along the front is compatible with the neighborhood. I think just to kind of tone it down a little bit would be nice. And if we made some adjustments, I could approve the project.
Thank you. Committee Member Brody.
Yeah, I concur with the comments that have been previously made. I think it's pretty straightforward, and I also can approve it.
All right, thank you very much. And Committee Member Wong, if you can wait 1 second. There you go.
Same here. I think it's very straightforward. I'm okay with the explanation on the roof. I can go either way with the bricks. I think is not overwhelmingly there, and anyway is more consistent. If it's going to be all half brick in the front or no brick in the front, so having half of it is no good. So depending on overall view, but I think the overall direction is acceptable to me.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a good project, well integrated and also compatible with itself and the neighborhood. I hear the comments Committee Member Lakon makes. However, I don't think it's going to detract and make the project detriment to the neighborhood. I think it's, no matter what's being done, it's an improvement with what's there today.
Yes.
So I would be able to support the project as proposed. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve DRC 19-84.
I'll second it.
Committee Member Brody with the second. Roll call, please.
Committee Member Chow?
Yes.
Committee Member Wong?
Yes.
Committee Member Lakon?
No.
Committee Member Brody?
Yes.
Committee Member Chang?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll move on to our agenda item number 5 for the evening. Design review case number DRC 20-18 at 2210 Adair Street. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair. For this item, it is located at 2210 Adair Street. The applicant is requesting to modify an existing street-facing block wall for the purpose of installing a pedestrian gate. Staff is able to make the finding that this new gate is compatible with the architectural style of the home and also is compatible with other gates existing on the property, which is just located next to the garage. The immediate neighborhood, in this case, we're looking at blocks, consists of one other property to the south, and it is 2235 Sherwood Road. It has a similar pedestrian gate adjacent to the driveway, just like the one the applicant is requesting. Staff is able to make the finding that this new gate would not cause visual clearance issue or other hazards to pedestrian and vehicular traffic because of the setback and distance from the parking stall that is currently on the subject property's driveway. And that concludes the staff report.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff from committee members?
Yeah, just one. What is the width? I couldn't read it on the plans. The width of the
I believe the width is 8 feet.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Seeing none, is the applicant present? If we can unmute the applicant, please.
Click on the blue. George, you have to unmute yourself.
Mr. Crowder, if you could go to your computer and try to click unmute. It would be on the lower left corner, or at least on my computer, it's on the lower left corner. There's a mute and unmute. Staff, you're not unable to remotely unmute the applicant?
From our end, we have already unmuted the applicant.
Okay.
He has
So, Mr. Crowder, you should be able to unmute yourself. We're not able to hear you, unfortunately. It should be, there should be a button that that says mute or unmute on the left corner. Well, we'll give the applicant a minute to try to get some technical support.
I feel for him. Got my son in the other room.
If we can unmute Mr. Crowder's computer. There we go. Perfect. Can you, well, we hear you loud and clear. If you could please state your name and address and description.
Okay, my name's George Crowder. I'm the owner of RNC Construction. I've been doing projects in the city since the 1980s and been to dozens of DRC meetings. I've done very large and very small projects throughout the city and have had many repeat clients, as is this project here for the Bartos family. So this is, as you can see, is a fairly large size yard there on the side if you guys have the plans in front of you. And right now it's not real usable. To actually get a table and chairs or anything in there, we'd actually have to put them over the block wall. And so we worked with staff, mainly Eva and Aldo. Instead of designing a wood fence there, we decided to do wrought iron and duplicate the fencing that's there now if you've been to the project. It would make the area much more usable for them. Instead of putting everything out into the grass lawn in the backyard, they could use this area that's already cemented in completely if you look through that area.
Okay, great. Is there any questions for the applicant from committee members?
I have one question. Isn't the block wall fairly new?
No, the block wall is existing.
The what?
The block wall is existing. What year it actually has been put in, I don't know, but it's been there for quite a while.
Does that answer, Krista? Are you okay?
I thought it was a newer wall. Okay, that's fine.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll now open it to public comment. Is there any members of the public like to speak for or against about this project? Seeing or hearing none. Staff, there was no comments received either, correct?
Correct.
Okay. We'll move to committee member discussions. Committee member Chow.
Well, I visited the property, of course, walked down San Marino Street, checked out the side yard, and I can see it's a long, kind of a long side yard that's divided by a wall in the middle. But my question is really kind of my concern is as you walk down further south on San Marino, you look at this property proposed gate, adding one more. If you stand in front of the garage, you're really almost looking like looking right at 4 gates, because you have one gate between 2 garages, neighbor's garage, and then beyond that there's another gate, and to the left of to your left, viewer's left, past the garage, there is already one gate. And then we're proposing adding one more gate. If you walk to the front of the house, and there are 2 more gates, I believe, yeah. One is a double gate. I am just not quite sure this is the right way to do it. I hear what the architect was saying that okay, if we want to put something in that yard, that section of a yard, we have to lift over the wall. But I'm not convinced that to have gates accessible at all sides of the house is really a solution. So that is my take on this.
Okay, Thank you very much. Committee Member Wong, if you can, we can unmute Committee Member Wong.
Right, thank you. Yes, indeed, there would be a few gates around the property, but if I understand it correctly, then we are talking about this side yard just next to San Marino, correct? So that if the owner wants to bring something to that place to use the place, currently either the owner has to come in from the front or through the back and then through this proposed gate. Am I correct? If it is, then if the owner doesn't want to really loop around the house from the front, coming in from the back seems to be the only way to use the space, unless there's a side door on the side of the property that can have access to this side yard. But I think that is a very subdued gate. And even though the count may be quite a bit, but given the situation and the traffic, which usually quite fast along San Marino, I think that would not be an obstructive view, in my opinion. However, if the owner believes he's going to help his use of the property, I'm in support of that.
Thank you very much. Committee Member Lakon.
I don't have more to add to what's already been said. I agree with actually both the committee members so far. I am having trouble getting past the fact that the wall is not, I don't think it's to code anyway. There's no setback. To me, it's, you're kind of just you're adding more things that kind of don't belong to something, but I don't think aesthetically it looks that great, but I think the wall is difficult because there's no 18-inch setback to plant anything. So I think it's a tough all the way around. All I see is when I drive by is like a parking lot. And now I feel like that gate is going to be a place maybe to park another car. So in that respect, I don't think it's ideal. But I can see if you want to, I kind of don't know if I can support it or not. I'll have to hear the other committee members. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Committee Member Brody.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp as Committee Member Chow. In fact, his explanation of his concern was just taking the words right out of my mouth. If I was to lead it off, that's probably what I would have said exactly. This is the world of gates, and it's I just don't feel that this is appropriate.
Okay. I tend to agree but disagree. I believe that the proposal to go with a wrought iron gate and to match what's existing would be the best fix. I think to allow a homeowner to be able to use their property is something that we should be cognizant about. I think given the circumstances and the conditions of that side yard, that is effectively the only location you can adequately propose any type of egress and entrance to. Moreover, the elevation to the facing the west of this home is neither beautiful or immaculate or park-like, for that matter. It is along a very busy street up and down San Marino Avenue. I don't think it's going to detract to the overall neighborhood with the addition of this, and so I would be able to support the addition of this gate.
Kevin, sorry.
Go ahead.
May I add one more point?
Sure.
Okay. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you short there. Addressing the accessibility of that back portion of the side yard, because that's what it is. There is a dividing wall between, yes, but I can see that. I have a photo in front of me looking at 2210, their number from the front gate, which is a double gate with a lantern. I mean, I can see easily just have a entrance built into that dividing wall, then it's very easy to get everything into that backyard, that corner space, if they like to. That's what I would do. Again, just want to bring that out, point that out. If there is a wall which is out of the public view, but it's very convenient to bring stuff in from the front. Also, it opens up the whole side yard. Then they can have people from the front portion of the side yard going all the way to the back portion of the side yard, as opposed to making more gates in the back.
Okay, that's a valid point. I would ask the applicant if he's, Mr. Crowder, was that a feasibility or an option that was kind of analyzed or looked at?
We looked at that, and also I wanted to point out the proposed gate area with the wrought iron to match, to create a difference somewhat, so we can kind of keep it looking like a wall. If you read the plans, we have we use the term canvas. It's not canvas. It's Sunbrella acrylic. Was going to be put behind the wrought iron, so we can still create it where it's looking like a wall. And they wanted to be able to get access from the backyard, not going out the front door to get into that area. You have to come out the front door to go the direction Mr. Chow had recommended. So they wanted to access it from where we have them, but to reduce that more gate appearance that has been brought up, an acrylic mesh was going behind the wrought iron. Because originally we were thinking about doing a wood fence there, but staff thought it would be better to match the wrought iron. The owner was open to that, and then putting mesh behind it so we don't create so much of an open look. We thought it would reduce that appearance of much wrought iron. Okay?
Petey.
All right. Thank you for that, responding to our question. So to take consideration comments from committee members, I hear the concern, and it sounds like there's a multitude of feels for what the feasibility of this project. So would someone like to proffer a motion or put forth a motion?
I will motion to
further discussion.
My dog.
Go ahead, Rick.
Well, I'll give it a try. I will move to deny DRC 20-18.
Okay. Do we have a second? Committee member Chow with the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Committee member Brody with the second. Roll call, please.
Committee Member Chow?
Yes.
Committee Member Wong?
No.
Committee Member Lakon?
Yes.
Committee Member Brody?
Yes.
Chair Chang?
No.
Motion carries. Project is denied.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next agenda item. Agenda item number 6, design review case number DRC 20-2. I would ask if we can mute everyone first, and then if I could ask committee member Brody to lead on this one, I'm going to recuse myself from this project.
Okay, very well. May we have the staff report, please, on item number 6?
Yes, thank you. Item number 6 is located at 1745 Sharon Place. The applicant is proposing to install a composition shingle material on the property. As a matter of fact, it's on the main residence only. The applicant stated that the detached garage was recently damaged by fire, and a new roof was installed about 2 months ago. However, staff is unable to determine the roofing material on the detached garage. Additionally, the reason why this application is in front of the committee is because, according to city record, this property had a design review approval for addition back in 2005, and the city at that time issued a building permit for the addition along with a re-roof permit, which on the permit indicate that the home and the garage should be improved with natural wood shingle material. However, in reality, that is not the case today, and that is the reason why staff is deferring this application to the committee. Staff provided a number of homes improved with the proposed material on the staff report for your consideration. However, staff is unable to support the project at this time, not knowing the material that currently exists on the detached garage, only because the design guidelines highly recommends that, and it is a policy of the city that the main residence and any other accessory structures on the property should have consistent roofing material. And that concludes the staff report.
Thank you, Eva. Any questions of staff? Okay, not hearing any comments with regard to that or questions. Is the applicant present? And can you unmute the applicant?
Lucas. The one on the bottom.
Is the applicant present?
Yes, he is. Just a second.
Okay, if you can get him on the line.
Yes, he's on you now.
If you could state your name and address, and if you have any additional comments that is not found in the application, we certainly welcome that.
Sure. My first name is Lucas. My last name is Srimanjaya. My home address is 1745 Sharon Place, San Marino. I have been resident since 1985. And based on my remodeling, I think there is some documentation wrong here saying my roof was a wood shingle class B, because when I remodeled it, that was signed and approved with the current material that have existing in the current house, the main house, and also the garage. So I guess the city documentation indicating that wood shingle class B is supposed to be changed already when I was remodeling. But at that time, I didn't know that was being recorded as a wood shingle. So right now, my current roof is almost expired. I think like almost 14 years, 15 years. The chimney, around the chimney area, there's like probably about 4 to 6 feet. It's leaking. And I tried to replace the whole thing, but the cost of replacing it is almost pretty much replacing the whole roof. That's what the roofing company, and they're advising me to replace the whole roof because the warranty is almost expired, basically.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of this gentleman? Oh, yes, Peter? Could you unmute?
Yeah, thank you very much. I really want to understand what is the real issue between the roofing material of the current garage, which is said to be replaced recently, and the staff report saying that the material cannot be identified. Is it a approved material in any sense, and would that be considered so that the main house and the garage would be consistent, at least?
Are you asking me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Are you asking? Oh, the garage and the current main house are same material right now. So the only difference is the roofing company who's going to do re-roofing are different because my backyard got fire on like almost 6 months ago. So when they replace it, they put it back, the existing roof, which is I don't know what the material is called, the shingle, basically the asphalt shingles one. And that's what I want to replace on my main house, that's what I have. But the staff saying there is no proof that I have that type of roof because the documentation back in 2005, I believe, or 2006, it's saying it's a wood shingle class B.
So if I may sum up what you're trying to share with the committee is that A, the new garage roof is the Shenandoah Landmark TL, which you are proposing to use for the main house roofing material replacement. And B, that the original house, the roofing material should not be recorded as wood shingle.
That's correct.
Would you have proof on that subject?
Again, because in the year 2016, when I remodeled, I got it all approved by the city. But then when I guess my roof company that trying to do roofing and you guys pulled the information, it said wood shingle class B. And I have not replaced the roof since 2006, I believe. And the only reason I want to change the roof right now, because the roof is leaking.
Okay.
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 Any other questions of the applicant?
Yes.
Yeah, Rick?
So question for the applicant. So your intention is to replace the main house roof that matches the garage, right? Because the garage was just replaced 6 months ago. Is that correct?
No, the garage is being replaced with the same roof as the main roof, the main house.
Okay.
So they're replacing this with the same material.
So the garage is new, right? 6 months old, right?
No. The roof, they replace it with a new roof. I think they call it a cool roof or something like that. But it's the same design as main house.
It's the same design, but it's not. But you are not putting the same. You're not putting the same brand, same exact roof material.
I am not sure about the brand because I do not know what the brand is because the insurance company cut stuff, so I do not know what the brand is. But the main house and the garage will have the same material.
Okay.
But a different, I'm sorry, they're going to be a different color?
No, it's going to be the same color as existing house right now. So there is no changes on color or anything. It's really more repair work. However, the documentation that the city have is
Right.
that wood shingle.
Right.
Would not.
Okay, I have a question. But you want to replace it with the Shenandoah color? Is that correct?
Same color, because I don't have all the color code information with me. So basically, whatever the roof color I have is almost like kind of red, a little bit dark red. I'm gonna keep it. So I'm not changing color or anything. It's just more really replacing the whole roof with the same new material that's the approved. Which I believe the contractor tell me is like, let me see if I have it here. It's called President PL or something like that.
Was it Landmark or President?
Yeah, Landmark. I'm sorry, Landmark PL. And I think the color called Solaris Burn Sienna. I'm just reading what they sent it to me here on the proposal.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Not hearing any. Let me ask if there's anyone here who wishes to speak for, against, or about this particular proposal. Okay, not hearing anything there. We'll close the public aspect of the hearing and begin with Peter. What's your thoughts, Peter? You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I've just been given the button to do so. Thanks, Marlo. Given the condition that, if I understand the owner correctly, that the main house proposed roofing material would be the same as the roofing material of the garage, and based on the material from the staff is the Shenandoah Landmark TL. If the staff can make sure this is going to be the case, I would be in favor of supporting the project, given that the material is being pre-approved by the city.
Yeah, and Rick, what's your thoughts?
Well, my initial train of thought was to deny the project because we just don't know, as staff's recommendation noted, that we just don't know if it's going to be a match. So, but I could also support it if staff is willing to work with the applicant to make sure that whatever is picked for the main house is actually going to be creating a consistent, unified look. So that is kind of where I'm at right now.
Thank you. And Krista?
I agree with Chairman, Committee Member Chow and Wong. It's the color that I'm, because I think it's burnt tan, and currently there's the presidential TL looking design on it. And I believe that's what's on the garage. And if they recommend Landmark, then it's going to be a different roofing style than the garage. So I could support the simulated wood shake that's made from asphalt in Landmark or Presidential, as long as the two are consistent and in style. The color, I'd rather it be a different color. The burnt sienna is not on the pre-approved list, and it doesn't even appear to match the house. So I could also, I'd rather condition it that they choose a color from the list.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my thoughts are leaning more towards where Rick was. I'm kind of on the fence with it, but if we could have a condition that there would be a match of a color, and it would be dependent upon the judgment of city staff, and the application of the roofing material on the main house would be consistent with the application on the garage. I think if you have color and application being essentially a major condition of the approval, I think you're going to have a good result at the end of the day. So that's my gut feel on it. Do we have any kind of motion?
I'll give it a try. I'll propose to approve design review case number DRC 20-26 with the condition that the main house roofing material be consistent with the roofing material of the garage, and that staff would make sure that's going to be the case.
And by consistent, you mean both color?
Same material, same color, same style.
Okay, I'll second that. Okay,
Committee member, prior to us taking roll call, if I may provide a suggestion or amendment to the condition that the property owner be responsible for producing document that demonstrate that the roofing material on the main house is consistent with the roofing material on the detached garage. The reason why I suggest this is because I have previously asked the property owner to provide the manufacturer and color of the material that is currently installed on the garage, and the property owner was unable to identify that material or manufacturer. Without having concrete documents that show the manufacturer and products and colors, visually, since this product is already installed on the roof on the garage, it will be difficult to determine if they are an exact match.
Okay, Peter, do you want to adopt that?
I would adopt that, and just as a thought is that any roofing company would be able to show and find out what is the material used in the garage. So I think that external supporting document is helpful, and I agree with that language.
Okay, and I'll second it with the modification just made. All right, let's take a roll call.
Committee member Chow?
Yes.
Committee member Wong?
Yes.
Committee member Lakon?
Yes.
Committee member Brody?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Committee Member Brody, appreciate it. We'll move on to the last agenda item for the evening, agenda item number 7. Design review case number DRC 20-25 at 1355 Bradbury Road. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair. The applicant is proposing to install certain presidential shake in the country gray color. This is a application to use fiberglass composition material on a home that is currently improved with natural wood shake material. There are other homes within the city that this committee has recently approved the use of this particular presidential shake material in the country gray color. Staff has provided that information in the staff report. Staff is able to support this request for the use of this material. However, we have noticed that, actually, I would like to point out an error on the staff report that under finding number 1, staff is able to make the finding for this material to be compatible with other structure within the neighborhood, because not this particular material, but other composition shingle material does exist within the legal neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for staff from committee members? Seeing none, we'll move on to the applicant. Is the applicant present? If we could unmute, thank you very much. Yes, if you could just briefly state your name and address and your case.
William Pasquarello Jr., 1355 Bradbury Road.
Thank you very much. Any additional information you'd like to provide aside from what we've already been provided as far as manufacture and the color? Is there anything else you'd like to state?
We want to put a roof on that you can walk on because there's city trees that blows a lot of debris and you have to clean it. And any other material going on top will crack or break. So this is almost the only choice. The wood shake that we have has been on for quite a few years, and it's a fire hazard.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Heavily damaged from the winds earlier this year.
All right. Thank you very much. Are there any questions for the applicant from committee members? Yes, committee member Chow.
Question to the applicant. Do you happen to know the roof material to the south of you and also across the street from you?
Several houses down, staff had provided information that it is in fact asphalt shingle.
What about the house directly next to you, to the south of you?
To the south of us, they're using the that material. It's really hard. If you step on it, it breaks.
So it does break.
Tile. It's like a shingle tile type of thing.
I see. Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll now open to public comment. Is there any members of the public who would like to speak for or against about this project? Hearing none, and none's been submitted. Staff, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. We'll now move to committee member discussions. Committee member Lakon.
Having some of my own technical difficulties. I can hear everybody, but I can't see anyone. Well, it's a very prominent, roof line along Huntington Drive, and on Bradbury, I see mostly wood shake looking roofs. I usually like the presidential TL, and I could approve it. I don't see it compatible in this location, particularly. I don't feel strongly opposed to it, but I hesitate to approve it today.
All right, thank you very much. Committee member Wong.
I understand the property location, and yes, I can attest that there is public trees along Huntington and along the street of Bradbury, and it could cause challenge to the roof and maintenance and whatnot. It's not ideal, I must say, but since staff report also support the fact that the material and the look would be able to blend in with the immediate area, I can see ground to support this proposal.
Thank you. Committee member Chow.
I'm inclined to agree with committee member Wong. I definitely also understand committee member Lakon's view, because personally, just aesthetically, I would prefer something that carries a little bit more weight and thickness. But to the point of committee member Wong, and I think I can also find ground to support this.
Thank you. And committee member Brody.
Yeah, I share the same point of view, and I agree with committee member Krista that this is a pretty good product. I've seen it implemented
on several roofing applications, and it comes out looking pretty good. So I'm a bit more optimistic than she is on this one.
All right. Thank you very much. It is a prominent corner. Even though traffic speeds along Huntington Drive all hours of the day, it is a prominent corner. There are stoplights at that intersection. So, unfortunately, there's not a lot of options when it comes to roofing. The city is having an initiative for the planning department to find additional options for roofing. Krista, to your point, the other option that's something durable and walkable that we propose is the steel roofs.
Yep.
So really,
I thought of that.
pick your poison. You want the steel roof that looks really artificial, or you want the presidential certainty?
Well, I even said to myself, I think in this case, I might like the steel better.
See, you can go figure. So, but I think given the scenario and given the homeowners' concerns and having it walkable, I think this is going to be I can support this project being proposed until we get to a day where we have additional options with more broad spectrum of materials. So I can support this project. Do we have a motion?
I propose to approve design review case number 20-25.
All right, that's committee member Wong with the motion. Do I have a second? I'll second. Roll call, please.
Committee Member Chow,
Yes.
Committee Member Wong,
Yes.
Committee Member Lakon,
Yes.
Committee Member Brody,
Yes.
Chair Chang,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you very much. That concludes the agenda for the evening. I don't know if anyone is online to do a virtual open forum. Are there?
Thank you very much. This is Bill Pascarell.
Thank you very much. Hearing none for open forum, we will adjourn. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Thank you. Take good care.
Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eva. Thanks, Marlon.
Welcome. Krista, actually the last items, the property owner did approach staff and we were asked to make a recommendation between the presidential product and the metal teal core product. So I didn't think the committee would want to see the metal roof at that location. And we guided him to do the fiberglass material.
All right.
Are we still in the meeting?
Yes.
I think we, Marlon, can we stop the recording?